Welcome to the Instagram stories for Friday, September 1st. I'm your host, Daniel Hill. This is also going to be a weekend edition. First, we are back with the normal music that we have. Every once in a while, I'm going to put in the throwback music. Every once in a while, just to kind of mix things up a little bit. But for the most part, we're back to the normal music. So, a bunch of updates to talk about, and then we're going to do a weekend edition of the show where I share a tool that I've been using that I think you should know about. First, let's talk about the Instagram news, then we'll get into some Facebook news, and then we'll talk about the tool I want to share. First, the head of Instagram, Adam Mosseri, posted in his broadcast channel about a test heads up. Quote, "We're testing the ability for public accounts to share comments from any public feed post or reels to their stories. The idea is to help creators highlight important or interesting comments from fellow creators or fans. If you see this, let us know what you think." And he included a screenshot demonstrating what it would look like if you were to highlight a comment that you got on a post and how it would look when you shared it to your stories. I actually very much like this idea, especially if the person who made the comment gets tagged, because then they may want to repost it in their story and then other people would see your content. I really like this concept. TikTok does have something similar where you can share a comment and make a new video based on it. So I think this is a good sort of middle ground for that idea, where you don't necessarily have to make a new video, but you can share it to your story and other people will see that content you worked really hard on. In other Instagram news, reverse engineering hacker Alessandro Paluzzi uncovered that Instagram is working on the ability to create reels up to 10 minutes long. And he showed a screenshot where you have the option of selecting a reel to be 3 minutes or 10 minutes. I will include a link to the screenshot in the show notes so you can check it out. But to be honest, this is exactly what IGTV was. I don't know that anybody was really looking for longer videos on Instagram, but I will say when you have a video that's longer than 90 seconds and you can't post it, that is a little bit infuriating. So I will say the 3 minutes I think is a good feature to have. The 10-minute feels like you're moving into YouTube territory at that point. And personally, I want to sit back and watch a 10-minute video on my couch on a big screen TV. I don't want to watch a 10-minute video on my phone unless I really, really have to, or it's super entertaining. One or the other. If it was a TV show and I'm on a train, I'll watch it. Okay, apart from that, I don't think 10 minutes is the move. I think that's YouTube territory, but like the concept overall, although it still reminds me exactly of IGTV. And the last piece of Meta news we're going to talk about is a new Facebook setting so you can tell Meta not to use your data for AI. It's buried inside the Facebook Privacy Center. I will link to this form in the show notes so you can get directly to it. But the form says, quote, "This form is where you can submit requests related to your third-party information being used for generative AI model training," end quote. When you go to the link, you have 3 different options. You can tell Facebook you want to access, download, or correct any personal information, say that you want to delete that personal information, or you can write in if you have a different issue. A Meta spokesperson is quoted as saying, "Depending on where people live, they may be able to exercise their data subject rights and object to certain data being used to train our AI models," end quote. I will link to this form in the show notes, like I mentioned, so that you can check it out and fill it out for yourself. We are going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about a tool that I use and like, and I think you should know about too. So stick around.
This episode is brought to you by Michigan Economic Development Corporation. In Michigan, you can have both a rewarding career and a quality lifestyle, with plentiful career opportunities in world-changing, innovating industries, from electric vehicles to clean energy to biotech, with room for advancement no matter where you are in your career. Plus, Michigan offers a welcoming, beautiful, affordable, and inclusive community for all. Live your best life. You can in Michigan. Visit themichiganlife.org.
And we're back. Okay, a new feature I want to roll out of this show is for the weekend episode where I talk about something, an app, a service that you need to know about that you should be using that I think will improve either your content creation or something else in your life. I want to talk about Calendly. If I haven't talked about Calendly before, I will say that it is probably one of the top tools I have ever used in terms of simplicity and effectiveness. Let me just explain how it works. If you want to schedule time with someone, maybe you want to meet in person or virtually, you might say, okay, I'm available Monday at 2 or Tuesday at 2, and they write back, I'm available Monday at 5, Tuesday at 4, and you think to yourself, those aren't the times that I said. Why are you giving me different times? Calendly eliminates all the back and forth communication. And how it works is you set up in Calendly the times that you want to be available, and then it cross-references it with your calendar, Google Calendar or others, to make sure that you are available at the certain times. And then you get a link that you can send to the person you want to meet with, and they can pick from the times you are actually available. This is great because the person you send the link to feels like they have control over picking what time they want to meet with you. The other part of Calendly that I absolutely love is that you can put in questions for the person to answer. So you can ask them, why are we meeting? What will we be discussing? What are your social media handles? It's just a phenomenal tool. The free option gives you one calendar that you can sync, but the paid option lets you take payments. So for instance, if you were to sell your time for consulting, you could send someone a link, and then when they're done, they enter in the credit card information or PayPal or whatever, and then they can pay you in that same booking. It is an absolutely phenomenal tool, and I highly recommend it. I made a video describing all the great things about Calendly. So if you want to see this in graphical form, go check it out. It's on my Instagram or TikTok at Daniel Hill Media. I think you'll like it. That is going to do it for today's episode. As always, thank you for listening. If you wouldn't mind taking just a couple of minutes and writing a review if you never have, I appreciate when you all send me messages telling me that you like the show, that you've been listening for a long time. I really value those messages so much. But if you write a review, other people will find out how much you love the show, and then more people will listen, and so on. Thank you so much for listening. As always, please write a review, find the link in Apple Music, and have a great weekend.
Instagram views got you covered, sometimes even TikTok. Relevant platforms in the metaverse ahead of the wave, without a break or a pit stop. Still waiting for Zuckerberg to give me the big job. Pause. Use trademarks and logos with Insta's permission, of course. If you like the show and you gain some good info, maybe leave a review. It's a type of applause. Just drop me a message if you want to collab. If you got some good content or you want to run ads, at Daniel Hill Media is where I am. TikTok, Facebook and Instagram.